He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world. He's got the whole world. Yes, he does. He's got you and me, brother. In his hand, he's got you and me, sister. Right in his hand, he's got you and me, brother. In his hand, he's got the whole world in his hand. He's got a little bitty baby. In his hand, he's got the little bitty baby. Right in his hand, he's got the little bitty baby. In his hand, he's got the whole world in his hand. He's got you and me, sister. In his hand, he's got you and me, brother. Right in his hand, he's got you and me, sister. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got everybody here. In his hand, he's got everybody here. He's got everybody here. In his hand, he's got the whole world. Well, put your hands together. Let's have a good time. He's got the whole world. Yeah. He's got the whole world.
Hello everybody, shalom to everybody, and all praise to the Most High for all the gifts that He gives. And this video here is about the 11th one in the Hebrew Paleo letters that I'm covering, and this is the letter that we're familiar with, which is in the Western world, it's called the K. And as you can see from the screen, we've got the usual sort of drawings that I tend to sort of put down on the paper so we can get an understanding of what it is. So this is going to be a very long video, this one. I'm just going to some of these letters go in a bit more depth than others, it appears to be. And Kaph here, which when we get back to the origins of it, as you can see up in the left hand side here and up here, it it's actually a pictograph of a hand. I can open this one here, and you can see up there, repeated up there, is like the fingers of a cupped hand, and so basically that's what it is. It represents the open hand. So we'll get into it now, and like I say, it's not going to be a very long video. I just want to sort of try and keep it as brief as I can, because I know it's been a while since I've posted one of these videos, but had quite a bit going on, and I want to get the next 2 or 3 letters put out after this as well, so I'm still working on those at the moment. So here we go. This is the 11th letter, and it's the K that we have in Western writing. This one here is I've put down Jewish, because although it's Hebrew, it's, those of you who have looked into the true meaning of what Hebrew is, it's kind of similar to the Jewish word, but it's not totally the Jewish word. It's a whole separate entity itself. So this is the modern Hebrew Kaph, which is written like that you'll see in the Jewish texts that you read in Bibles, and like the Brit Hadash has copies where it's written in this Jewish form. This one here is the Latin version of a K, and as you can see, it's written left facing as well as right facing. The Greek one next to it is written right facing as well, because obviously the Greeks and the Romans did switch their writing styles at some point throughout their history, and depending where they were located, they switched it to whatever direction they were writing from. This one here, from the Samaritan one here to the Aramaic, this little section here, these 4 different subsections, if you like, these are what's known as Aramaic text. You know, when you see like the Dead Sea Scrolls, they would have been written in this style of letters, more of like what we would call kind of shorthand, I suppose, and for quickness and for ease of actually writing down. This one here is the Moabite one, and as you can see from the top of this Aramaic one, which is from about 1,000 years before Hamashiach, it kind of resembles a hand, like an arm with fingers pointing out. This one is kind of similar but slightly different. And the Canaanite ones, along that sort of theme of fingers and a hand, although it looks kind of like birds' legs, like sticky little robin's legs or something. When you get to the top of that one, which is back to sort of about the 1500 to 2000 year before Hamashiach the Saviour, it gets back into the open palm version, and here it has almost looks like a gloved, mittened hand version. So that's the Canaanite one. The Phoenician again is very similar to the Moabite and the Canaanite versions. And moving over to the left, we have the ancient Semitic Paleo-Hebrew timeline of how the letter changes through time. Then again, it's using that same similar style to what these other ones have, of the fingers projecting from like an arm and a hand up to the top here with the open palm version, and again the mittened glove hand version. So that's pretty much, before we go into the other bit over here, we'll give you what the meaning of it is. The meaning is the palm of the hand, and it symbolizes to give somebody something, to be given something. But it also, because there's always like the mirrored version of everything, it can also mean to take away. So, you know, when you see a K in a Hebrew word, it can be interpreted as a gift or to be taken. To go further into that, it means to place the palm onto something, pushing or pressing or bending. You know, like you mold a piece of clay, you sort of squash it and squidge it a bit, and it sort of forms it into its shape. So you can bend, subdue, because, you know, back then these ancient Paleo-Hebrew, ancient Semitic people, their drawings meant they had like a concrete meaning rather than what we have nowadays, which is kind of like a sort of like a version of somebody else's view of what we are trying to do, where their view was coming purely one-sided from their self. And here it says, to me, it means to bend and curve as a hand bends. And that's actually written down in the Paleo ancient Semitic form as, remember reading from the right to the left, the Kaph is the first letter, and the PH next letter is actually the symbol for the mouth, which means utter, what you utter from your mouth. So those two together form the word Kaph, as you can see there. And if we now move over here to this section, which is, those of you who've watched the other videos will know that what we're trying to do here is show that when the Hebrews came out of Egypt, they were both in the same land. Moses was in the same land as Egypt with his Hebrew relations and family and tribe of people. So both of these cultures of people, similar to today, where we have those that believe the word of the book, and we have the people who seem to be in power and have corrupted the word of the book, or give a total disregard for it. And it was no different back in the day here, because you had the Egyptian, the language of Mitzrayim, which has the same symbols you can see here, that the ancient Hebrews had as well. See this, their version of the hand, which means to take and receive, their phonetic sound of that was called shep. And the hand itself, the symbol for the hand, had a T sounding phonetic value to it. I've sort of browsed around through my books and literature and stuff that I've been researching from, and found these examples to give us a bit more of a picture of, you know, how this letter is actually constructed in its phonetic sound and its picture form. So this one here to the right here, it's similar to the yod, the outstretched arm, but on top of it is like a conical shape there, and that represents a gift that is given or received, like a heap of grain or something coming up, or something like that. And the picture underneath that is of a cup. Now the cup itself down here, which is phonetically in Mitzrayim, has the K sound, and you'll see as we go on that's how we have the connection to the Kaph symbol that we'll see underneath here in a moment. But the strange thing I noticed with that is a cup can be called various different titles, and one of the things that a cup can be called is a vessel for putting something in. So I found that sort of interesting, that a vessel, a cup, and we are all vessels where we have things put into us and we carry things, and it seems strange to me that, you know, it's used here as an offering or a gift with that K sound. And also here I found this one, which is has the two arms, which is the car. Now the car in Egyptian symbolizes like the spirit, or the, you know, the soul of somebody after they've moved on from this world, and it has the phonetic sound car, K-A, car. And this was one example I found of this representing the arm and the hand, showing the K for the cup as well. And like we had up here, the T for the hand, the T for the arm also had the T sound as well, with a little dot under it, in much the same way as the Masoretic versions of the Hebrew letters, you know, dots and dashes and things. That's pretty much that part of it. And this is another example which shows the outstretched arm here and the hand at the end. The round circle here with lines through it has the KH sound. Not quite sure what that actually represents. In some places it says it represents like the sun, or something in the heavens, and in other places it says it symbolizes like possibly a sieve, or some sort of a basket type of thing. So those together form the word Kaph. Now you can research this all up if you've got access to like Egyptian writings and source books. You'll be able to see that I'm not making this stuff up, but this is all actual Egyptian words and phonetically based names for words. And also here it has the hand grasping what appears to be a stick here, and so the actual meaning of that is to grasp, to take hold of. This one here is another version of that, and the P is a doorway, or in other versions it's a mat. The K again is this symbol. So Kep means the palm of a hand. Kep, palm of a hand. Kepha, to grasp, to take hold of. This one over here is the last two Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew words that show what the actual meanings are. This first one is the Strong's number H5414, and it's read from right to left, and it's Nathan. Some cases I've found it spelled Nathan, which is the different T version. We haven't done that one yet, but you'll see when we get to that it's more of like the T tilted over, sort of like laying sort of that way, as if it's fallen over, where this version is the Tau, which is standing upright. So you have the little seed, or the serpent seed, which represents the N for Nun, which we'll be covering in a couple of letters' time. That provides the N sound of this word, and it means give, to grant, to cause somebody to receive, and to appoint something to somebody or someone. So that's the give that we get the Kaph, give word from. And this one here, reading from right to left again, is spelt Lakch, Lakach, and it means to take, to receive, to get, or acquire something. So that number is Strong's number H3947. So you have the two takes on the whole Kaph letter and its meaning, to take and to give. So that's basically all I've got for that letter to show you anyway. I was going to read a little verse that I found, which is, it has reference to both of those, and it's Ecclesiastes, which is Koheleth in the Hebrew, and it's chapter 2 verse 26, and it says, for he gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to a man who is good in his eyes, but to the sinner he gives the task of gathering and collecting, to give to the good before the Most High. that too is futile and feeding on wind. So that's all I have for the letter Kaph. So hope you all got a little bit of understanding from that. And like I said, I'm going to keep it very short. You'll notice if you do check out my subscriptions, I've got another couple of channels listed. Very interesting videos that are done by these people, and I would encourage you to check out their work, showing the truth of the word and the word of the Most High. And one of the channels is called Judah for Life, and his name is Jonathan Smith, and he covers a lot of books dealing into like the history of the true Israelite Hebrew people, and delves into Roman history and Greek history. And the next channel that I would recommend to you is Yahuwah is One, which is linked in my subscription channel. You'll see on to the side of my main homepage, I think. And he's been going quite a few years, and he's got a lot of really interesting videos, and you should all be able to get a lot of understanding and a wealth of wisdom and knowledge from those two channels anyway. So with that being done, I'll say shalom and thank you all for turning out, and keep living a righteous life. Hallelujah. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much. Shalom.